Welcome back, 412-575-2600 on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. Also taking your calls at Josh Taylor HD. We will go back to Twitter. We have Ron who asks, what do you think about getting Artie Burns incorporated into the defense this week? It could help bolster it. Outside of an injury, I don't see it being possible because right now, where? Outside of Hayden and Nelson, those two guys are your main guys. Then you have Mike Hilton, you got Cam Sutton. There really isn't room for an Artie Burns as far as being an impact guy on this defense. However, when you look at from the other positions, as far as the safety position, I feel the more confident about this defensive backfield right now in the depth that they've had, probably more than I've felt in the last half decade or so, and that's saying a lot because they've used some picks on some guys in the first round and the second round that could have been impact guys for this team, and through injuries or through shuttling guys off, they've had to completely retool and do that on the fly the way they have and put together this group. I think it's pretty impressive. Let's go to Luna and Butler. Luna, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hi, it's Lulu.
Lulu. I'm sorry, Lulu. I apologize.
That's okay. That's okay. I do have a couple of points. First of all, Slippery Rock, I think that's really done great for Western Pennsylvania and putting football out there in smaller schools, and I think that's great. Secondly, my question is about the penalty shot. I did not see interference that warranted a penalty shot. What happened?
You know what? I think a lot of people agree with you. I didn't really hear what Bob Erie was talking about in the broadcast. I couldn't really hear it. I had the volume down. I was trying to do some other stuff while I was watching it at the time. But I imagine they didn't agree with that call either. The good thing is Tristan Jory was able to hold firm and to stop Kopitar in the penalty shot. But I agree with you. It's usually when you're going to call a penalty shot, it has to be pretty egregious. That's usually the stipulation, or that's usually the designation for it. I was really surprised that they called it there. It was to the point where I had actually put my head down and wasn't paying attention. Maybe this is where not having the volume up hurts me. I don't know. But I look up again, and Kopitar's got a penalty shot. I'm like, wait a minute, they called that? It was that surprising for me, too. So you're not alone there. And definitely I agree as far as Slippery Rock. And we've seen, and it's not just Slippery Rock. In these past couple years, we've seen some really good Division II PSAC teams between Slippery Rock, Cal U, IUP. Those programs have done, as Mike Tomlin would say, yeoman's work. So definitely proud of what Slippery Rock did. And carrying an undefeated season through a national tournament, getting to the semifinals, I can't stress it enough, just how difficult that is to do. And to get one game away from a national championship is something that has to be commended. Let's go to Bob in Washington. Bob, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hi. First-time caller. Hockey question.
Okay.
If a player scores 2 goals in regulation and then scores in the shootout, is that considered a hat trick?
It is not. But, yeah, they actually discussed that, I believe, on the radio broadcast, if I'm not mistaken. Mike Lang was talking about that because people were throwing their hats on the ice, and Mike Lang says that doesn't count as a hat trick because the shootout doesn't count towards your goal total. So no, it doesn't count as a hat trick. Oh, well, but, yeah, hopefully that answered your question and appreciate the call. For the record, Brian Rust in this game, I can't stress enough, between Brian Rust in this game and how he's been since he returned from that injury that he missed at the beginning of the season, it says a lot about how he's played. Mike Sullivan talked about just how he's grown since he played in the AHL, since he played in the minors as a player, and just how much of a two-way player he's become and really evolved into, and just how successful he's been with this team, and just how big of a part of a back-to-back Stanley Cup championship run Brian Rust was with this team. Because I think a lot of people look at Sidney Crosby, you look at Geno Malkin, you look at the Marc-Andre Fleury's and Matt Murray's of the world, and they're useful. And Chris Letang, those are definitely important guys. Those are cornerstone guys. They're pillars of your franchise. But you do need secondary scoring. You need young guys that can contribute, like a Jake Gensel, like a Brian Rust. So when you have those guys on your roster and you watch them develop and you watch them evolve, it is fun to watch. And I think Brian Rust has become one of the unsung heroes of this team during this season as far as what he's been able to do. And some of the plays that he's come up with in some really, really needy times, I think scoring both of those goals, when you're down 2-0, you have a whole nother game after that, and then you get tied again, you go through overtime, you go through the shootout, and who's the guy that comes up with the big goal? It's that guy. And I want to say that was his first attempt, if not this season, in the shootout. So it was a good time for for Brian Rust to come up big. In the meantime, we are out of time. Make the switch over to KDKA. We're talking Penguins. We'll have those highlights plus Slippery Rock as well. For our producer, Steve Benko, and our crew here in Pittsburgh CW, I'm Josh Taylor. Good night, everybody.